Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Bonfire Race League Big Truckin' Tuesday, live on the Vortex Racing Network. You got two wide in the booth tonight, Mean Gene Money and Smokin' Joe, bringing you all the action from Daytona International Speedway. That's right, Big Truckin' Tuesday has come to the Super Speedway, race number 9 of our 13-race regular season, and it's time for it to get greasy. Joe, how we feeling?
Man, we've had a lot of super speedway racing here the past couple of days, haven't we, Mean Gene? And we got another one here tonight. We got the trucks, and we're not under the lights. We're out in the sunlight. Look at that temperature. 75 out there, 88% relative humidity. And it's got that track at a pressure cooker 103 for some 3-wide action.
Hey, that's what the fans want to see. We are at the Plus EV Paint All-In 187 at Daytona. Our sponsor today, this league race brought to you by Plus EV Paints. That is an amazing paint team. Paul Ferdiani, he will do you up. He's got me a paint scheme I run in the Sunday Premier Cup, the 187 all in at Daytona. And you know what's really great about this, Joe? We'll talk about it more later. He's also sponsoring the Daytona race, and he has offered a free paint scheme to whichever driver can accumulate the most points over those two races. And just want to clear it up for you out there, Clausen. It's not most incident points.
Yeah, I definitely want to make sure we're not getting any incident points out there. Very hard to avoid them, though, tracks like this. So, of course, we got Daytona here tonight, and then after tonight, we only have a couple of races left in that regular season there, Mean Gene. So, we were talking about how Talladega is the other race. That's a regular season finale. And you can see there's only a couple of races in between those.
Yeah, season is finally starting to wrap up before we go to that amazing playoff. Lovely playoff format also by the boys here on Big Truckin' Tuesday. It's not a win and you're in situation. You got to get those points. So it really rewards attendance. It really awards consistency. And then there's a little caveat, though. If there's a tie for 12 guys make it, the dudes that are tied can make their way in as well. So that 12 is not written in ink. That 12 is actually in pencil because there's other boys that might make it in there. I mean, look right there at that cutoff line. The guys right below that still highly competitive as far as trying to make their way in there. Edward Peltz, 1 point off the cut line. Tommy Fox, 2 points off. Chris Smith, Alex McWhorter. I mean, hell, Alex McWhorter was part of that train of Gulf Coast Racing last week. Definitely somebody that can continue to make it. Jake Johnson, one of the most consistent drivers this year as well, not far behind, tied for 17. So that thing could still open up. Joe, let's talk about last week for just a minute. Last week, of course, the boys were at Richmond, and it was a Gulf Coast exhibition. Gulf Coast Racing, top 4 drivers. It went 1 to Volpus, 2 to David Brenner, 3 to Alex McWhorter, and 4 to David Owens. Jared Kelly led the most laps, caught up in a little bit of a yeehaw there at the end of the race, cost him his position, but the big story had to be Gulf Coast dominance, and that keeps David Owens on the top of the leaderboard for that regular season championship. Joe Volpus did move back up one more, but still, Gulf Coast, David Owens, look at it right there. Owens, Volpus, David Buell right behind them. AJ Binish showing great speed, 3 wins on the year. Nick Mills, this guy always fast. I'm waiting on Nick, Joe. This is a guy that just seems almost to win. He's got the beginning or the middle. Sometimes he's got the end speed, but he's a lap down after some calamity. I'm waiting for Nick Mills to put it all together. Today could be the day here at Daytona.
Yeah, Nick Mills, of course, we know he's not really been qualifying very well here in the trucks, and had to work his way through the field in pretty much every race to this point. I believe he's the guy that has the most passes on the season to this point, just because
Yep.
his average start has not been that good, not up to par for Nick Mills, and it's made it a lot harder for him this season. But look, he's still fifth in the points. He's pretty much got 2 full races on the cut line. The guys that I'm looking at though right now that I'm concerned with is pretty much from Zach Engel on back. Like, look at how tight that is. So from Zach Engel, who's plus 11, all the way back to Jax Duvall, that's a 30-point gap between those guys. And that's, what, 9th place back to 21st. That's an insane amount of people within just a full race of each other.
You can take Jaron Valley out of that. Jaron, unfortunately, or fortunately, I should say, got a new house, right? It's a little bit further drive, can't quite make it. So grats to him on the upgrade. He got to come up in where he lives, but it has cost us a competitive driver. But those last 3 guys, you look at that in 17th, 20, and 21. David Brenner, Kyle Lanaud, Jax Duvall. They've done that in 5 races. Those boys have got that close in 5 races. Meanwhile, we've run 8. So if they continue to accumulate points at that rate, this could be a very tight battle indeed for that 12th spot. The ties are not off the board. In fact, you know what? Joe? I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a call right now. There will be a tie for 12th. How do you like that? You like apples? How you like them apples?
I'll tell you, I can't remember who it was, but a couple seasons ago, there was a tie for 12th, actually. And unfortunately, back then, there was a tiebreaker situation, so someone was on the outside looking in. So it has happened before, Mean Gene. So, that's not a bad bet, in my opinion.
No, but this year, it's the everybody love everybody, and we're going to let all the boys that tie for 12th right on in. Speaking of everybody love everybody, how about that practice session? I love that. Alex McWhorter putting up good speed, and I know practice is not indicative, and hell, qualifying is even less so because you're single car in it out there. But let's look at the practice sessions. Alex McWhorter finished on the podium last week. Here he is again, confidence at an all-time high. Tommy Fox, this guy's battling to get into the final 12. One of the top, he might be the top starts in Bonfire Big Truckin' Tuesday. I'm not sure, but didn't remember his name up on that. Here's Jared Kelly, ready to make up for last week's debacle. The guy shoulda, coulda won. He wouldn't say it for me, but I coulda won that race, Joe. He was there. Stephen Neal, Joe Volpus, Jax Duvall, all the usual suspects up at the top of that list. Other names, though, you got to love seeing. How about Wayne Newman down there, huh? 14th. That's showing some speed. Jake Johnson making his 9th start. Mr. Consistency. Troy Sand, Max Schofield. And there's Zach Engel. You said you were worried about those boys. Zach's here to put your mind at rest.
Yep, Zach Engel, of course, gonna need to have a good run here tonight. For points purposes, as do a lot of guys, actually, for that matter. Right now, I think we're looking at one of those guys that needs a good run here, Jax Duvall. He's a really good super speedway racer. We've seen him run up front, lead a lot of laps, win a fair amount of these races, I believe, as well in the past.
Oh, yeah.
So Jax Duvall going to be one of our favorites coming into today. So I'm going to tell you the guys that I'm looking at for today, Mean Gene. I'm looking at this 84 truck. That's one of my favorites. I'm also looking at the 13 truck of Volpus. He just won Sunday in Bonfire at Daytona. Kyle Lanaud finished second to him, so I'm looking at him. Jared Kelly finished third, so I'm looking at him tonight as well. And if I was to put a fifth, I was to put somebody as a bit of a spoiler out there. That's a tough choice. I'm gonna go with actually the guy that's sponsoring the race as your spoiler. I think he could pull it off just because I've seen him run up front so many times at Supers. That's Paul Ferdiani.
Yep, Paul Ferdiani, of course, our sponsor today, plus EV Paint, all in 187 at Daytona. While we're in qualifying right here, let's go ahead and play another one of our sponsors. You want to roll that beautiful bean footage? Let's see if that KK Woodscapes can pop up. Yeah, it is trophies, and those trophies could be yours. Reach out, KK Woodscapes, trophies for all occasions. It could be for pole award winners. It could be any type of event. Doesn't even need to be iRacing. Go ahead and reach out, memorialize those moments from your childhood and your extended childhood if you happen to be a 54-year-old iRacer.
Great idea there, Mean Gene.
Mm-hmm.
I think old Chrome Dome needs to get himself some more shiners around him so he can, not feel so bad about seeming so shiny on top of that noggin.
Do they give a trophy for 16th and the points at the end of the year? I don't think they do.
I mean, you know what?
Most penalty points in a season.
You know what? I've seen Kevin make trophies for just about anything. I don't think he would decline the opportunity to make old Chrome Dome something that could really shine out his head to everybody.
Yep, the mediocre man. Now you see him, and now you still see him because he's in the pits. All right, so again, qualifying still going here at the EV Paint, all in 187 at Daytona, and I'm hoping that 187 is not indicative of what's going to happen to the drivers here today. Lots of boys out there, though, ready to do battle. Last year at Daytona, very exciting, and believe it or not, only one of the three boys on the podium is here today, and that is your hotshot favorite that you named, Jax Duvall. He got second. Of course, last year, Joey Stiers taking the win. Jax Duvall finishing second. Nate Maurer came in third at Daytona here for the Big Trucking Tuesday Daytona race in season number 11. Here we are, season 12, new day, new faces. And speaking of new faces, how about Nick Rendo out there putting in laps in that 05 Chevrolet? Rendo, he's had a pretty decent year so far, and being a super speedway, opportunity for him to put his name up on top. And here's the law, Brandon Shelton. That's right. If you see him in your rearview mirror on the real streets, you probably should pull over because it's not going to be a good day. Brandon the Law Shelton in his trademark number 2. Looks like he's in the Old Bay seasoning number 2 Chevrolet here tonight. Brandon had a little bit of a rough one Sunday. Him and his Folcom boys, they seem to hit everything but the pace car. So gonna see if he can knock the rust off that thing and get it back in the winning ways. Brandon Shelton. Here's David Owens. Of course, this is your season leader. David Owens in that number 8. Dipped out early on me Sunday. Didn't get an interview with David Owens. I think he had some choice words for our hero, Zach Clausen, after that restart there at the end. Owens, of course, led a lot of laps Sunday, and him and his teammates kind of controlled that super speedway race, but at the end, it kind of fell apart. Matt Novella taking the win on Monday Night Mayhem. Ooh, and is this official? Is this real?
That's it.
That is real. Look at looky. Justin White. This guy has his own stream also. You can always take a peek at Justin White during the races. He's going to start up on your pole. Alex McWhorter follows up with a great practice session to be on the outside row, outside of row number 1. Paul Ferdiani, that is another long shot dark horse, going to start in third. Troy Sand, great run for the number 80, going to start in 4th. Duvall going to be up in 5th. Eric Gambrell, this is one of your hot rookies for next season in the Sunday Premier Cup. Going to see what Eric can do here today. Going to start in the 6th position. Joe Vulpes going to start in 7th. Vulpes had great success, winning 3 of his last 5 league races over the last 10 days. Jake Johnson going to start in 8th in his number 32. Sam Ballard going to get a 9th place start, and Wayne Newman going to be 10th. That's your top 10. A lot of privateers in that list.
Also, a lot more drivers to go through in the field. So we're going to try and get through these as fast as possible.
Oh, you can have them all.
So we can see the green flag. So in the next row there, you see Edward Peltz, Nicholas Rendo going to start in row 6. Row 7, Zach Engel and David Brenner. Look at those guys. They need a good run here tonight for points purposes. Right behind them, you got Stephen Neal, Brandon Shelton, And then you see Morris Craven in his return here this season. He's starting 17th alongside Joe Quinn. And then if we look further back through the field, starting in row number 10, we got Graham McGivern and AJ Benish. Not a very good qualifying effort for AJ. You know, we know he's usually not somebody that enjoys doing these super speedway style races as much as some of the other guys. So we'll see how he does tonight. Zach Williams, we see him back in 21st alongside Jared Kelly, one of my favorites for tonight's race. Next row back, we got Chris Smith and David Buell. Then you got David Owens, who barely got a lap in there before qualifying ended. That got him 25th alongside Dylan Walterman. Then you see Jared Ogletree going to start alongside Kyle Lynott, another one of my favorites. Not a good qualifying effort for him. He'll start 28th here tonight. And then rounding out the field with, we got Tim Darby, the last one to put up a lap time. And then all your no times there, Mean Gene. We got Nick Mills starting 30th. We got Schofield, Milliken starting 31st and 32nd back there. Then you got Chris Ellis and Tommy Fox. And the last row will be comprised of Jeff Pfeiffer and Adam Melhott for a 36-truck field.
All right, so you know what that means. It's time for an award. That's right. We're looking at you, Justin B. White. You, congratulations, are the winner of the LeagueNewsWeekly.com Poll Award. League News Weekly, get an update on what happened last week and predictions for the week to come on LeagueNewsWeekly.com, run by Kevin Kyle. Kevin, an awful active man. Appreciate what he does. Oh, I just realized where Justin's from. Oh, I can't wait. Every time he's in the lead.
Have you ever noticed what his handle is on Twitch?
No, what is it?
Bearded Kilt Racing.
Bearded Kilt Racing. Bearded Kilt in the lead. All right, I'll stop that. I'm already getting emails and texts telling me you. I don't. It can't be racist. He's a ginger. I'm okay. So here we are up front. You know, the thing I just noticed off what you said, Jeff Pfeiffer, this guy's put up smoking qualifying times. Seems to get caught up in incidents. Jeff Pfeiffer going to start in the back, so we'll see what he can do. Pfeiffer shown great speed in every race that I've seen him participate in, but now going to try a little different strategy, put himself in the back, away from some of that foolishness, whether it be imposed or inflicted. Here we go as we are taking it around, about to get underway here at Daytona. Keeping an eye on Justin White, the bearded, kilted man. Going into turn number 1, White is on the bottom. On the outside, you can see McWhorter trying to make chase immediately. 44, a Ferdiani as well, putting his name out in the hat. There's Duval. He's running third on that inside lane. Outside lane needs to get it together. Look at that gap between that second truck and the third truck. That 48. Troy Sand doing his best to help on that outside, but he needs the 48 of Sam Ballard to close that gap. Look at how hard they're pushing. McWhorter, really White, and the 44 of Ferdiani pushing, gonna bring it around, and it is gonna be Justin White leading lap number 1.
Yep, we got a lot of hot track conditions. The one thing I forgot to mention to you, Mean Gene, is our wind. The wind is up very high here as we pull up the weather here real quick to take a look at that wind. Look at that, 13 miles an hour, and that's in the easterly direction. So the way this is going to work is it's going to be a bit of a headwind down the back stretch, and it's going to be a tailwind, so it's going to help down the front stretch.
Oh, yeah. You know, you're already talking about dirty air half of the time, and now we're going to talk about tailwind as well. What are we Pirates? Is Captain Najee Harris going to make an appearance on the deck today? Who knows? All right, so Justin White continuing to leave. He's got to be happy at this point. Alex McWhorter making chase behind him. You can see Duval now throwing his name into the hat, putting a little rub down on people. Outside lane, you can see Ferdiani and McWhorter trying to make it work. The 48 now of Ballard has moved in. Ooh, a little bit of excitement as the 15 peaked up high, going to bring it back down low. Single file for the front 3 cars, and then you got a little double wide action in the 4th and 5th row. And here we go. Look at the outside. Here comes Shelton and the 89 as well, trying to close that gap. Outside lane trying to get it together, Joe.
Yeah, the outside line, they just haven't really been able to put it together very well. and I think I could tell you the reason why. So that inside line right now, if you look at the guys that are on the inside, so Justin White, Jax Duvall, Joe Volpes, Alex McCorder, and Eric Gambrell, they're all in a chat together. So, of course, there's no official teams in here. As speaking of guys in the chat, look at this one, the 8-truck shooting up the middle.
Oh, it's 3 wide. Owens now getting crazy to 47 of angle on the outside. You can see that beautiful Jeff Gordon scheme down there on the inside, but we're 3 wide. That's the 923. Oh, my, you're going to do that to a rookie. What are you thinking? That's Gambrell, and he finally pulls the parachute to get away from that excitement. But look, Owens doesn't play favorites. Now he's 3 wide with Shelton and his teammate McWhorter.
Yeah, look at these guys, 3 wide coming off turn 4. We got some crazy action already. We're only on lap 4, Mean Gene. Just to finish my point about what I was saying about the whole chat thing. So, Justin White, Duvall, Volpes, and now McWhorter all on the inside since Gambrell got shuffled out of there. Those guys are all in the chat together in the Gulf Coast chat with Owens and Brenners. You saw them shoot the gap to get up to where they are. So, no official teams in this series. However, guys, that race together a lot, they usually form up in chats together. Gulf Coast on Tuesday nights is the big chat pretty much. Look at this, though, Mean Gene. 3 wide, the 48 gets shuffled out.
Yeah, 48 ends up going up high. Inside, you can see that is the 89 of Zach Williams. And now Zach, he's letting all the Zachs go by. There goes Zach Angle, Brandon Shelton. 48 now going to file back in, but he lost 3 rows there. Got to be happy just to keep his skin on his truck, considering how tight these things are around here. Also, heavy contact I saw a little bit earlier between the 32 of Jake Johnson. Really took it pretty hard in the backside. So these guys in the rear really pushing hard to try to close that gap. And look at that. I mean, we're basically 12 deep, 2 wide all the way through this thing.
Yeah, a lot of trucks very, very close together. And that's always a recipe for some good stuff, right? Right, Mean Gene? You get that. You get that deep fryer going. You put a couple ice cubes in there, and you get something really good cooking, right?
Ooh, Kelly Blinken, that's scary. That's going to put the 37 at risk. We become 3 wide. You can see Stephen Neal and Jake Johnson back off a little bit. Kelly finally falls into line. Not what you want to see, 3 wide, go Blink.
Yeah, speaking of ice cubes in the deep fryer, we almost have one of those situations mid-pack right there.
Wow. And up front, Paul Ferdiani being shown as your lead truck. Dark Horse no more. Now he's your lead horse, taking him around here on lap number 7. Outside lane, though, teammates David Owens, David Brenner, they're making it work, getting a little bit of a push from the 89 of Zach Williams. Look at this. David Owens pushes into the lead up 24 spots. David Owens is now on the outside controlling. This guy controlled Monday night before his team lost out and only had to settle for podiums. Now David Owens in the lead. Don't think he's going to make the same mistake. Only going to trust himself.
Yeah, and trust the guy that pushed him up there, too, David Brenner. Those two made a bunch of moves through the field. You see he's up 12 spots as well. As these guys are getting a little squirrely, the 89. Oh, they're going to cut down in front of them. That was tight.
That was a 3 at the same time, Joe.
That was really tight there. The 89 made a bold move, came down. Oh, save it.
We're still rolling. It's all good.
That was almost a really, really bad situation right there. There was almost double bubble all over the racetrack there going into turn 3.
Hey, that's just super speedway racing, Joe. All right, only falls back to the 5th row. He's fine. Williams gonna continue to do battle up there. Meanwhile, you might wonder where our pole sitter Justin White is. He's fallen back a little bit. He's in 7th, still on the page. And up front, oh no, start the Jaws music. You're gonna need a bigger boat. Chris Ellis, they're starting to reel him in, Joe. If you're that number 16 Toyota, you got to start worrying. If I was Juan Delgado, I would say I'm terrified.
Oh, look at how much slower he's going, too. He's doing about 170 miles an hour compared to these guys going 190. Let's see if they can get by him clean.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, it's 3 wide. Oh, my word. Oh, look at that. That is not good. He's hugging. He's hugging. He's doing his part. Going to go into the turn. A little bit of contact. Look at the 37. Don't hit him. Woohoo. That's scary right there. Going to roll around, though. Little wiggle. It's fine. It's fine. No one saw you. Nothing to worry about. Here comes. Hey, how about Jake Johnson back in the orange? That's what I'm talking about. See, that is his color. That Tony Stewart orange. Like seeing that color out there, Joe.
Yeah, he's trying to do his best here now to pick up the 16. It looks like they've lost a good amount of ground, though. Look at how far back now that outside line. Look at how disorganized that outside line is. 6, 7, 8 rows back. The inside may be able to get a bit of a better jump going here because of how out of shape it is. Let's look back up front and see if that's the case.
Got to close that gap right there. Gambrel's that first brake car on that bottom.
Yeah, these guys really need to do a good job. So I'm going to tell you, Mean Gene, the big thing is, you see it right there, is it all matters about that third truck in line. That third truck in line needs to be as close to the second one that's pushing the leader. And you can see on that outside, the 48 is effectively almost pushing the 2. And that's going to work out for them. They're going to get a lot of momentum here going into 3. You can see Ferdiani is going to get a huge run on Owens on that inside.
Got third truck on the bottom, Zach Engel, though. No stranger. He got a win at Talladega last year. So that guy as well knows how to run here. Look at that outside lane trying to bring it back together, but that inside lane just so numbered deep. All right, so here we are, lap 12. We are going to go silent in memory of our founder, Dennis Puckett. And we are back, of course, that lap in memory of our Bonfire Race League founder, Dennis Puckett, lost to us earlier this year. You are in our memories. Rest in peace, my friend. Action back on the track. Ferdiani still continues to lead as he has David Owens in chase. Outside lane now, Brandon Shelton being shown as the lead truck, with the 48 trying to push behind him, and then the 7 as well. Outside lane still a little bit spooky. Now, last night, the boys, they ran at Atlanta, tires at a premium to maintain momentum on the apron and to run the rail. Here, though, Joe, tires not quite as much of a sweating point, right?
Yeah, the only reason why you'd worry about tires is if you go for a huge slide from a wreck. If you start doing donuts for some reason, like I did a couple weeks ago in another series. Those are the only reasons why you would put tires on at any point in this race.
Yeah, you don't want to wreck them. You don't want to cause that war spot, give yourself issues. But other than that, going to be a lot of fuel situation pitting, I would only imagine. Meanwhile, that outside lane still doing a good job of fighting, even though they don't have quite the organization of that inside lane. You got to give credit to that outside lane. That is Justin White now making his way back up to the front. Brandon Shelton giving him a good push. And you can see the 48, Sam Ballard as well. That's the 7 of Edward Peltz. Edward really good in these trucks. He ran in I think it was called the Premier League, used to be on Wednesdays, and then turned into the DDI Race League. And now here he is running in trucks in Big Trucking Tuesday. So no stranger. That's that 7 of Peltz, 4th truck on the outside row. 37 of Chris Smith on the outside. That's the 5th truck. These guys should have the ability and experience to get it together. They just need to get past some of that side drafting. Amazing how side drafting is your friend and then it suddenly becomes your enemy just as quick.
Yeah, you got to be very careful of how much you side draft somebody because, you can break through that bubble, and netcode really sometimes can affect it as well. Chris Smith, I've seen him run up front in numerous Super Speedway races. Usually just has really bad luck at the end of them. I know one time in particular I can remember he was running second on the outside line and he ran out of fuel in turn 3
Oh,
on the last lap. Caused a huge wreck and he wasn't able to get the finish he deserved.
so you can look, this lead group has 32 trucks in it, 33 if you count Chris Ellis. He is a lap down, but he's still in that group. So you can go all the way back to Schofield in the 61 Toyota, and that is the end of that lead group. So Schofield, he had speed in practice. I think he's just kind of cruising around, waiting to see if and when the big one is going to occur. And then if you look way, way back after that, you're going to see a three-man group of Male Hot, Ogletree, and Tommy Fox. Now, those fellas, they have to be concerned because they're not running quite as fast. Last lap lead group around a 47.5 is what the leader put down. Meanwhile, those three boys in the back, 49.2. So that's 2 seconds a lap, Joe. And now, if you look at that meter, those boys are 25 seconds behind the leader. So slowly creeping up here as we're on lap number 17. Pit window really not going to open up for another 9 laps or so.
Yeah, we're not going to see people at the bare minimum. The first lap they'll come down is 25, the end of 25 coming to 26. And the reason why they would do that is because they want to make sure they have enough fuel to make it on 2 stops. We've gone green here pretty much this whole race here to this point, which is something you don't see at super speedways. These guys doing a great job keeping it together, even with some huge moments happening.
Yeah, it's something to be proud of. Absolutely. Going to take another look there in the middle. How about Morris Craven? He's running in that number.
Look at him go 3 wide.
Oh, what's going on, Brandon Shelton? I thought you guys were friends, but no more. And now Shelton fading back just a little bit. That's the disadvantage of running that outside lane. You hit the bubble, then you hit the wall. Oh, let's look at 4 wide just for a second. Just kidding. 3 wide. Now Gambrell going to dunk underneath as well. Shelton finally shuffles back, but look how far back. Dropped 12 rows right there. Brandon Shelton leading just a couple of laps ago now finds himself in 20th position.
Yeah, second to 20th, just like that. And look at how much it's affected the outside. They need to start getting that run back together. Sam Ballard, Paul Ferdiani doing their best to try and get back alongside these boys. Look at that. Justin White, David Owens, and Brenner 1, 2, 3 on that inside. They got good control of this race right now.
Yeah, Gulf Coast Racing getting it done again. A little bit of Zach Engel help and Zach Williams behind them as well. Outside lane now. If I'm on that outside lane, I got to be wondering, can I trust anybody? You're wondering, will always, if that outside lane does get side by side or even in front of the lead inside lane car, often that driver is just going to duck down to the apron and bail out on the outside lane. Or even worse, what just happened to Brandon Shelton, where he goes a little bit high, they pull a Plant Smith and duck under 3 wide, and then all of a sudden you're fading back, losing 18 spots. So no teammates together on that outside to speak of. So they're going to have to figure that. Oh, a little bit of dicey. Look at the 37 and the 74 right there. 37 went a little high, and Morris Craven almost pulled the parachute, but manages to keep it. Craven going to tighten it up. You can see right behind him, he's got that 55 of Jared Kelly. Tons of speed in that truck, and then McWhorter, and directly behind them, Wayne Newton. So lots of good action out here today. Lots of big names still in the middle. I mean, look at, you got Volpus running back in 15th there. He's in that number 13 Jack Daniels ride. Behind him, he's got Stephen Neal. Neal's a top 10 right now in the points. And next to him, Troy Sand, who's put together some really good runs here recently to throw his name into that playoff picture as well. So lots of big names. I mean, look at this. Kyle Lynott. If I told you Lynott was going to run 24th today, you probably would have laughed at me. This guy's got a handful of wins to his credit, and yet here he is trying to make his way through the back of the field. Oh, Gambrell now 3 wide. That's some excitement there in the middle for the rookie.
Yeah, I think he ended up in the situation there. Nick Mills made a couple really, really nice moves. He started 30th, of course, in this race. Look at how he's up to 15th making these moves.
Oh, and look at that. He says, I don't fall into line. You fall into line. He was poking that third lane, but ends up going behind the number 80 of Sand there. And he's going to slam it down in front of Duval. You know what? It takes a pair of big ones to slam it down in front of Duval. And then wow, this guy's just moving. He wants to go in the middle. He just needs a friend.
I don't know if he needs a friend. Look at this. Look at him. He's splitting them, and he's going forward by himself. Oh, and he gets a little draft help there from that truck right in front of him. I think that's, I can't tell who that is, the 996 right there. Gave him a little bit of help there, and look at him. He's just ducking and weaving all over the place.
Yeah, that is indicative of what we've seen out of Nick Mills. The ability of that driver to cut through traffic and make his way to the front is legendary. We've seen it in Premier Cup, and now we're seeing it here tonight. Big Truckin' Tuesday on Vortex Racing Network. Nick Mills making his way through traffic. Lap number 23, Justin White still being shown as your leader here at the Plus EV Paint All-In 187 live from Daytona International Speedway. Justin White is your leader.
Yep, and you can see the side-by-side action continues. You know what, Mean Gene, though? We're coming to the start of lap 24. A lot of these boys are going to have to start thinking about moving to the bottom lane so we can pit.
Well, there's plenty of room down there. Just, bump somebody down. It's fine. The outside lane just needs to simultaneously decide to go down. Hey, remember I was saying let's keep an eye on 74? Look at him now. He's the third truck on the outside lane making that run. Good for him. You're right, though. That outside lane is getting really thin as I look back over some of these drivers. Inside lane is absolutely the way to go. Lots of fellas got to be thinking about it as we're about to conclude lap number 24. What do you think? They can make it maybe 28?
Yeah, I think your ideal window, if you're leading the race, I think you can go 26 as a max. So Justin White, I expect him to be only able to go to lap 26. If you're back in the middle, middle of the pack, you're able to save a little bit more. You can go 27, 28. And then if you're at the way back, you're probably able to save the most. I think those guys can go 29.
If you are Fox, Male Hot, and Ogletree, you are begging that there's some kind of incident here with the green flag pit stop, because those leaders are only 14 seconds behind you now. So not what you want to see. Chris Ellis did come in, looks like came in for a pit, but it was really fast. What was he penalized?
Might have been a drive-through. Oh, here we go. We got guys coming down pit road.
Is that pit road? Well, he looks like he's just driving in the middle of the street.
Oh!
One day! Why? Wow. Well,
I think he blinked out. I think we had a little bit of an issue after that happened, but oh my goodness, that could have been really bad.
Well, look at Jake Johnson spinning around in the pit, too. That was exciting. He about blew his pit stop and got a little sideways with that. That was wild. And now he vanished.
Yeah, I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. I don't want to go over to that and show it.
Oh, well, you know what? There's a ton of trucks out here for us to focus on. Those leaders.
All right,
still
here we
putting
go.
on a great show up front. And there it is.
Oh, no.
No, don't do it, 37. Is that Nick Mills with him?
Yeah, Nick Mills. Saw a couple other guys as everybody disappears because, I don't know. Some guys stayed out, though, that time. Mean Gene, we do have a replay, though, of what just happened there down pit road to show you.
It looks like Morris Craven going to be shown as the leader, and he is all alone. Joe Vulpes in second and a half behind him. So looks like Craven did not get the email. Look at this action.
Yeah, here you go, coming down pit road. Ooh, big contact with the 55 and the 37. Sends the 48 out of control. And you saw that 37 fly down into Nick Mills. That was that contact you saw on the screen, Mean Gene Live.
Wow. Just, that's exactly what Fox and company wanted. But guess what didn't happen, though? No caution.
No caution.
This thing just stayed wide open. Everybody's just driving. Look at the blue guy come right back up. He's like, you know what? I want to go in the grass. I don't need to pit this lap. I'm just going to keep going. Meanwhile, pits are getting busy. Look at Craven and Binish. They're sharing the pit. Hey, it's my stall. Come on, man. AJ Binish, what?
He's backing up a lot of pit stalls. I don't think there's good history doing that. Oh,
I've done that. Oh, good, Matt. Leave him alone.
There we go.
Leave AJ alone. Up front, Morris Craven now being shown into the pits as well. That's going to turn it over to Joe Vulpes, and now Vulpes, his turn to get him some bonus points coming out.
Yep, so we actually got, here come the guys that pitted the last time. They were able to link up. They just fly past everybody that pitted a lap later. Look at that. There's Vulpes. Look at these four. They're going to have a huge advantage here, Mean Gene.
Yeah, that's Justin White, David Brenner, Jared Kelly, and Alex McWhorter. Behind them, Vulpes and Duval, next two cars looking for help. And then here comes Stephen Neal and Nick Mills, that two-car tandem, 7th and 8th place behind them. Then you can see Gambrel and Lynott. Lots of two-car teams out here right now. So if you're that front four, you got to be thrilled thinking you can pull away. First time I see three come together is going to be back in 13th place. That's Brandon Shelton, Zach Williams, and Troy Sand. So I would expect those three guys to start picking everybody up over the next few laps to start to close that gap. Now, if you're wondering about biggest loser, that's always a fun thing to say. How about Zach Engel, 47 second pit, minute and 21 second pit lap time. So pit lane time. So very painful there for Zach Engel. He's in that group right there with Tommy Fox as well.
Leaders. This is the leaders. This is a bit of a crazy group right now. So these guys are getting lapped actually.
A kerfungal. You can see Jared Ogletree in that group as well. So big group there. So those guys, I don't think they have damage on their trucks, Joe. So even though they're getting lapped, that's just because of the breakaway early on. So they should be able to add the arrow and make this lead group really fast.
Yeah, it's just a tough break for them because they're now all a lap down because all the chaos that happened. We saw those three trucks there, the 66, the 57, and the 27. They got shuffled out of the lead group and they were by themselves, losing a bunch of time. And now the 47 with his huge problem down pit road as well. He's now with this group. So those guys, all tough breaks, all outside the top 30 because they're a lap down, unfortunately.
Zach Engel, he is the fourth truck in that line. He would be your lucky dog recipient if a caution was to come out at any point in this. Mailhot would be the next truck. He's just two behind him, with separated by Jared Kelly. And then you can see Ogletree and Tommy Fox bringing up the rear. So 4 lap drivers in that group hoping to hold on and make their way through it. Meanwhile, look at the train behind them. Joe Vulpes getting pushed by Duval. And as we expected, Nick Mills closed that gap. You can see Eric Gambrel running 8th. Good run for that rookie. Stephen Neal, Lynott, David Buell. The line goes on and on all the way back to Troy Sand. So that next group back to 5th is 5th through 15th. So that's 10 guys right there trying to close that gap. Behind them, another big group led by Matt Schofield. So even though we had that caution or that not caution with those big incidents, I still see 3 very formidable sized groups out there making progress. The one that I point out to, how about Schofield? Remember when we were watching that guy in last, just following the group? Now it's desperation time, and he's leading this group, trying to catch back up. So Matt putting his big boy pants on now, leading this third group.
Yeah, and you can just see how far behind they are. They're going into turn 3. The leaders are crossing the start-finish line right now. That is a huge difference in time. And you can see then the second group, they're just crossing that start-finish line. If you look, they're not really gaining much time right now on the leaders, though. It's just been kind of like stagnated here at that 3.7 second mark. So they need to really start kicking it into gear if they want to get back in that race with those top 4.
Yeah, you can see that gap by Ferdiani right there. He needs to close. Oh, Ferdiani now coming down under the apron with the 74 as well. Little bit of fiasco back there. No sooner do I say they need to get closer. They got a little bit too close and had those incidents.
I think we're under caution, Mean Gene.
There There it is. That's what we needed. That's what we needed, or that's what we didn't need, depending on your perspective. Big winner there, of course, is going to be the lapped drivers, and I think that's Zach Engel most likely. As long as he wasn't part of that whoop-de-doo, Zach Engel should be the recipient of the lucky dog. We're going to take a replay of that here in just a moment as the boys are getting organized back up. David Brenner still being shown as your leader. Oh, let's see what Owens has to say. There's AJ Bennett. No, don't touch AJ. Oh no.
That was Timothy Darby with some
Darby and Chris
issues.
Ellis getting together there. Chris Ellis was already being shown the lap down. Didn't need that in his day.
So let's take another look at it. So you got the truck coming low. You got the truck on the outside. Looks like Darby doesn't want to go down and hit the 5, overcompensates, comes up and hits a 16.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Tim Darby, the 42, tied. Chevrolet wiggles a little bit, ends up coming right up into the 16 machine of Chris Ellis. Going to bring out the first caution of the day here on lap number 34. Of course, we are going to lap number 75. There is no stage. There is no stage award. And there is no fast repair, so keep it together, boys. Leaders coming down pit road now. You can see Brenner and everybody. Top 6 drivers going to make their way down. And then after that, David Buell decides, you know what? I'm going to lead some laps and smoke a menthol Marlboro. He's going to be your race leader, get him some points. And then behind him, look at that, all the way down to 29th. He's going to come into the pits. And hey, look at Joe Quinn. He decides, I too would like to get up in the front.
Yeah, so you saw everybody as they're starting to come off pit road here as well. It looks like Voltus is going to lead them off. So the whole purpose of pitting here, in my opinion, Mean Gene, is we're trying to cut down that time on the last pit stop of the race. So pitting here, it doesn't really get you into a window of making one more stop, but it makes that last pit stop that they have to make shorter because they don't have to put as much fuel in. Like those boys do on Sunday in real life, where they're always trying to calculate that fuel beyond there as little as possible to jump other people.
I'll tell you what, though, interesting series of events here. Look behind the pace car. I see Mailhot, Ogletree, and Tommy Fox. Are we in a wave around situation for those fellas?
Yeah, so these guys, if they stay out here, they're going to get the wave around when we hit 1 to green.
Well, that would be exciting for them. They just took fuel back on lap number 25. So theoretically, they could make it to 50. They got another 16, 17 laps of fuel. So if there is another caution, they would be able to come in with the others. They'd have a slower pit time, of course, needing more fuel. But this is the risk that could absolutely get those 3 fellas back into it. Remember, they just lost the pack at the beginning. Nothing is wrong with those trucks physically. It was just bad luck with that draft. And that can happen so quickly here at Daytona. You find yourself just in a bad switch situation. You go high, you zig when you should have zagged. And next thing you know, you're just watching trucks drive away. Here's Chris Ellis. He's going to bring it back down into the pits temporarily. I think he needs a little bit more repair after that last incident.
Pace car lights go off, and here we go. There they go. 66, 27, 57, all taking that wave around, Mean, just like you said.
That's what we needed to see. We want to see those guys back in there. Tommy Fox is in the middle of a battle for that 12th position in the playoffs. Did not need to suffer in the back of the field. And so Fox, Ogletree, Mailhot back up there onto that lead lap. Got to be thrilled. Now, Joe, they really need that caution to come out in about the next 10. About in the next 20 laps so that they can make their way back. 15, maybe 15.
Yeah, about 15 laps. That would be ideal for them. If not, they're going to be in the same pit strategy as your 2 leaders right now, Joe Quinn and David Buell.
That's what I was about to say. Up front, those guys got about 15 laps to figure this thing out and hope for something to help. If I'm Buell, this makes sense. I'm taking lead laps. And I'm getting my points. Behind him, Quinn has got to make a run. Quinn cannot hesitate. If there is a tiniest bit of an opening, he's got to make that move. This skipping fuel opportunity for him really turns into a big gamble, and it pays off if he can just lead one lap. He's got to get by Buell as quick as he can. He's going to have Duvall on the outside pushing him. Duvall, great pusher. Jared White behind him. That's the third truck on the outside lane. So he's got a good crew with him. The question is, can he ride the pony for 8 seconds, or will he get tossed?
I guess we're going to find out here as the pace car should be pulling off with David Buell as your leader for this restart. Two guys that we haven't seen up front yet, Joe Quinn, David Buell. We'll see how they can lead lines here on this restart.
Hey, David Buell ain't top 3 in points for nothing. We're used to seeing this guy running out front. Going to come into the Geico restart zone, and away we go. David Buell going to lead him. Outside lane, he's trying to stay with him, starting to fade. Look at Vulpes pushing as hard as he can. David Brenner as well. He's going to slip by Joe Quinn. Outside lane, got to get it together. That's Jared Kelly, 4th truck on the inside. Quinn finally bails on the outside lane.
Oh,
it's Duvall leading with Jared White leaving. Go down, go down.
Yeah, Jared's cutting him a serious break right now. Maybe he cut him a serious break right there. Joe Quinn could have been in the infield right there if Jared didn't cut him that break. Look at the middle, though, again. David Owens.
And Owens making it 3 wide. He don't mind. It's okay. He's here to play behind the 74 of Craven. Gonna just touch Craven a little bit, give him something to think about. Rattling his cage here at Daytona. Now finally settling in. We're 2 wide. All the way back 10 rows deep. Inside lane with a 2-truck advantage. But behind them, you can see that gap. Inside lane, 6 trucks going to run strong, and then Shelton needs to close the gap. Meanwhile, David Owens not content to get behind Morris Craven, forcing the issue to take it 3, pushes the 74 up and outside and passes him through the middle. What a strong move by the 8 of David Owens.
Yeah, I think the reason he did that, though, is now he's hooked up with Duvall, Justin White, and Alex McWhorter, all those guys in a chat together. And then, of course, Vulpes pushing. Buell is in a chat with them as well as the truck directly behind Vulpes, David Brenner. So a lot of these Gulf Coast boys up front that are in that chat together. Eric Gambrelli, see him, he's fought his way back up to the front right behind Morris Craven as well.
Now, I'll tell you what, if I'm Joe Quinn, I got to be worried that Jared Kelly has seen what worked for Owens. Quinn has already lost the back of Brenner a couple of times, and we've watched Kelly let off to allow him to get back in. Now it's Justin White being pushed to the outside of the Gulf Coast team. You can see McWhorter passing him. You can see Owens going by Craven. Nobody's safe. Oh, and look, we're finally sideways, and it's happening. Look at Gambrel. He's on his left side. Meanwhile, in the back, Nick Mills makes contact with the 7. Oh, no.
My goodness. Look at the 923.
What a humanity. Look at Gambrel still doing it. Come on. Welcome to Big Truckin' Tuesday, boys.
Woo! Go take a look at what happened there for us, Eugene. Oh my goodness.
Oh my word. Meanwhile, David Buell's happy. All right, so here we go, Jared. That's what I was worried about right there. I said that Quinn, I talked about Quinn, got to be worried about what Jared Kelly's going to do. Can you rewind that again? Can I watch that again? I'm really curious. You can see right there, they're 3 wide. Williams, White being pushed back. Oh, yeah, that's just, oh my word.
Oh.
Wow, if I was a cheerleader, I'd be spelling aggression.
Yeah, let's go on board and show you what Eric Gambrel saw there.
Yep. There's Eric. This is our rookie.
Oh!
Oh, no.
Oh. That was a view.
Oh, he saw it. He got in his guts right there. Okay, now, what is this? He's just getting dragged into the grass.
And the 4s.
So I think we're going to give Jared Kelly an award for that one right there. He just had enough of being behind Quinn and never let off and then finished him off. Good job.
Oh.
And then look at behind him. That guy was like, can't treat my buddy like that.
That's just a really tough break for the 923. I'm hearing that is terminal damage, and I think we can see why.
Yeah, Gambrel going to call it a day for sure.
Oh my!
Quinn also took a hit in the side, but he might be okay. He seems like he can take the T-bone and sometimes and come back from it. Ugh. Those RPMs, he's gunning it. Yeah, go for it, man. Run him up. Run him up.
Have you ever been upside down like that before, me, Gene?
Not in iRacing.
Yeah, I can tell you, I've been flipped over before, and you know, just driving down the back. Yeah, driving down the backstretch, like upside down
Rolling.
down the back.
Rolling.
No. I was sliding on my roof down the backstretch in that cup car at Dover, and that was not a fun feeling, especially when it doesn't flip back over and you're just sitting there on your roof.
All right, well, we're going to see what's going to happen there. Gambrel, of course, right now, Chris Ellis is the only truck being shown out officially, but with Gambrel now with that damage, he might be in danger as well. Tim Darby is now back onto the track. Got to be happy to see him rolling. Quinn still in the pit getting some repairs. You can see Lynott, Stephen Mills, Stephen Neal, Nick Mills, all getting repairs as they had something to do with that last bit of action. Up front, Morris Craven deciding he needed nothing to do with the pit, and he is going to take over as your leader now, going to get him some points. Question is, will it bite him in the booty once we run some green flag laps? Zach Williams behind him, the double bubble trouble guy. And then you can see the 32, Jake Johnson, back in his orange. And Wayne Newman, yeah, boy, Wayne running up front. He's in that rookie 996. And then you get into the fellas that went ahead and came in and took some more fuel. That's Joe Vulpes and Jax Duvall, Justin White, David Brenner, McWhorter, all those guys coming in briefly. But if you go back to David Buell, he went ahead and came in and looks like he took 4 tires as well while he was in there. So we'll see if that really makes a difference. But if you got to take that much fuel, why not take at least one side? Buell going to go for 2.
Yeah, you know, he didn't pit there, if you remember. He was staying out for all those cautions. So it made sense for him to come take 2 tires there. Since he had a fuel longer than everybody else, these guys came in and pretty much topped off for a second time there. You know, and once again, we're not in the window to make it on one stop yet, Mean Gene. So these guys are still just trying to shorten down that time for that last pit stop.
Yep, of course, today we are scheduled to go 75 laps here. So we're going to see exactly how many more cautions or how much more green flag racing we have. This is the Plus EV Paint All-In 187 at Daytona live on the Vortex Racing Network. I'd like to thank our sponsors at this time, of course, KK Woodscapes, as well as Plus EV Paints. If you need a paint job, they can do it. You can win in that car and get KK Woodscapes to give you a nice trophy to memorialize it. There it is, Plus EV Paint. Paul Ferdiani and team going to make you a sweet ride. And for one lucky guy, whoever has the most points here at Daytona and then at Talladega together, that person going to get a free paint scheme. Can't wait to see who it is. Still a lot to be determined here. Lap 42 into the Geico restart zone. Keeping an eye on Morris Craven. Away we go. Craven getting a push from Jake Johnson. On the outside, though, they keep it close. Look at Zach Williams. Not a big jump by Morris there. And now Williams trying to stay side by side. This is the tightest restart we've seen, Joe. Look at how tight these drivers are. Wayne Newton on the outside, not taking any prisoners. He's got Jax Duvall pushing him, and David Owens, that outside lane moving. 3 wide, no. This could be trouble. And Duvall got him one. Look at the 13 spinning. Owens as well, the 8 up into the wall. It's mayhem.
Oh my goodness, Mean Gene. I think
wow, Duvall got him one.
I think we're gonna have a lot to go look back at on that one. Let's just make sure we're ready to rock and roll the show to show the crowd What happened on that one?
Yep. That's exactly what we just saw. Duval continuing his assault. Look at him. He's like, you know what?
Oh.
Don't come up here, and I'll T-bone you. Look at Owens. Is like, okay, I'm safe. No, I'm not. Ooh, that's a hard hit for Owens right there. We're gonna have to see exactly what he's gonna do. If that was a Cup car, he would be done.
Yeah, you know, the suspensions are very weird on some of these. That was an Xfinity car, he'd be done as well.
Yeah. Great angle there from the 33 of McGivern. Ooh. McGivern then going to give Owens a tap. He got a little help from Buell. That looked like David Buell did a combo shot. He said, I'm going to put the 8 in the corner and do it off of the 33.
This is on board with the 13 here. We're going to watch his little 360 from his point of view.
All right, so he's behind Jake Johnson. You can see Duval up front. Oh, and he's like, oh, I'll get cleared. No, I won't. Well,
that could have been worse.
That was some fancy driving right there. All right, and that is going to give our leader, Zach Williams, the opportunity to come in. Lots of other fellas going to bring it in. We continue to tick away to get the right amount of fuel to make it a one pit stop adventure for the rest of the way. This is lap number 45 here from Daytona International Speedway. Morris Craven still being shown up front. Here comes David Buell. Remember, David Buell did bring it down back on lap number 40, so choosing to stay out for track position. And behind him, Mail Hot, Duval. Hey, there goes your lucky dog. That's Tim Darby getting him one back. And I believe that'll put him, back on the lead lap, right?
I think he might still be shown.
Oh, yeah, he's 2 down.
Well, almost. We're almost there. A couple more cautions and we're back in it.
That's right. If he can hold off the charging of Stephen Neal and others. So, Morris Craven is your leader. 23 trucks out there running around. And then you got about 10 in the pit, getting a little more fuel, a little more repair, topping up as much as they can, trying to get into that window for just one more stop. Looks like a couple fellas taking tires. Jake Johnson, Zach Williams, going to go ahead and take that opportunity, put some tires on that thing as well. A.J. Benish back in 23rd. And then, Joe, look at the repair squad. McGivern, White, Ferdiani, all needing repairs. Joe Vulpes with 52 seconds inside those pits. So you could see the duct tape and the Sawzall. That front end still looking a little spicy, getting ready to run the last 31 laps here at Daytona.
Yep, I think he was able to get all of his optionals fixed. It wasn't actually too bad. This truck is a lot more forgiving than other vehicles when it comes to damage. So there's a lot more you can get away with and it not be as bad. I think we saw that as well with David Owens. I believe he's just left pit road. So I think he still has some damage to get fixed here. But, you saw that contact, we talked about it. He was able to survive pretty much, and he's still able to roll. He's still competitive with whatever damage he still has left to fix, I believe. We'll see how competitive it'll be when he gets back out there, though, and in full speed.
Cautions can be your friend. Remember the 3 guys that got that wave around? Look at where they are now. Mail Hot, he's in the 66 Chevrolet. He's the second truck on the inside lane of row number 2. That is the number 66 Chevrolet. Now, granted, he did pit back on lap 40, but still finds himself up there on that front row. Then we're going to go to Jared Ogletree. He's running in that number 27 Chevrolet, and he's on the same pit strategy as everybody else. Came in, lap 44. Ogletree got to be thrilled to find himself back in the top 10 after being a lap down for so long. And then the third amigo is going to be Tommy Fox. He's back in 19th place. So, again, Tommy, though, infamous, well-renowned for hiding in the back, waiting for that last 20 laps before he starts taking those risks. So all 3 of those guys with that wave around now in great position. compared to where they were just 2 cautions ago.
Yeah, we'll see if they can continue working their way forward. What I'm looking at right now, though, is the guys that keep coming out up front. Duval, you see he came out up front again, even with that contact with the 996. You see Alex McCorder still up front, Brenner still up front as well as Brandon Sheldon running in that top 10, and Jared Kelly up there too. So pretty much the same usual suspects minus those guys that were involved in the wreck are still up front.
Hey, and looky there, the guy I said's going to get a podium before the end of the year, Jeff Pfeiffer, in that number 85 Ford, made his way up into 10th. Here we go. We're coming into the Geico restart zone. Morris Craven on the inside is your control truck. Away we go. Craven with a 1-truck lead. Behind him, they are side by side, 15 deep here at Daytona International. Craven trying to hold off. Buell side drafting on Mail Hot, finally trying to get that outside lane going. Duval says, I ain't your friend. Gonna bring McWhorter with him 3 wide. David Buell stuck in the middle all by himself. Up front, Rick Craven has to love what he sees. Hard pushing by the 15 and the 84. Side drafting, nobody's friend. Duval wiggling, trying to hold on. Buell needs to stay in that middle or else him and McWhorter. Duval bails on McWhorter just as quick as he bailed on Buell, and now he's the lead truck in that middle lane. Outside McWhorter on his own, gonna duck down below the 27 of Jared Ogletree and get back in line. How about Duval making no friends? Real fast, but he finds himself in first place.
Yeah, he's made some great moves there to get to the front of the pack here. Alex McWhorter, almost no harm, no foul. It looks like he's stayed 4th in line on the outside. David Buell only fell to 2nd in line. I thought he was going to fall like a rock there, but he got a lot of support from behind from Jared Ogletree. Man, where did he come from? I know you're talking about how he's on the same strat now. Look at him, he's almost leading the thing now.
Yep, that guy's on fire, and the other buddy of his, Mail Hot, second truck on the inside lane with momentum right there. If Shelton can close it up, that's that number 2 Old Bay Ford Chevrolet. Old Bay Chevrolet.
Oh.
If he can close that up for that inside lane. Meanwhile, here comes Nick Mills getting spicy in the back. That was some excitement. Finds himself trying to catch back up. That was a brown pants moment, if I ever saw one. Mills got a little fast and furious. He's drifting a little bit, trying to close the gap again, get back in the draft. I think he'll be fine. Hey, 3 wide. If you see 3 wide, you're going to see David Owens. Look at him there with his teammate Vulpes, trying to make that thing spicy.
Yep, see 3 wide. A little contact.
A
lot of contact.
Oh my, everybody's nervous. David Owens again.
That was insane.
David Owens chatting it up on the radio. He's chirping like it's a hockey game here today.
Yeah, we heard these guys as well. We heard from admins pre-race that that kind of discussion is not going to be tolerated anymore. So, David, got to be careful, make sure he doesn't get chat banned here. Right, let's see if we can pull up that replay for you there, Mean Gene, see what happened.
On the outside of him, I didn't see exactly who that was.
All right, let's see if we can pull it up, find out who it was. That looks like the 7 truck. I believe that's Edward Peltz.
Yeah, it's Eddie Peltz. You can see it gets tight. Peltz bringing it down. And then, yeah.
Yeah, it just looks like it started from a minor tap between the two of them, and it just got out of control after that.
Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of one of the things that happens when you go in 3 wide. Yeah, it's just an unfortunate incident right there. No malicious activity, I think, by Peltz on the outside. I think just once you get that close, and no one even knows what netcode is doing either to this equation.
Yeah, you could see right there that first contact, and then like the 7's just out of control from it. That can happen very easily. These trucks get out of control very easily at super speedways such as Daytona, especially when the wind is this high. I think that's pretty much what caused what we saw there. Is once that first contact happened, it was just it.
Well, unfortunate series of events for both the 8 and the 7. They are both of them visiting the pits. Looks like almost everybody's going to come down and make a pit row appearance. Stephen Neal is going to be announced as your lucky dog, going to bring it around, try to get himself back another lap. He'll still be a lap down, but looks like him and Darby will now be battling to get back on the lead lap once we go green again. Speaking of battling, up front now, Jax Duvall being shown as the leader. Pole sitter Justin White is in second place. Behind him, Zach Engel, Kyle Lynott, Wayne Newman, David Buell, Alex McWhorter, David Brenner, Brandon Shelton, and Jeff Pfeiffer maintains that 10th position, even though he came in and pitted as well. David Buell, first truck that just pitted, he's being shown in 6th position right now out there on the track, and looks like just fuel for most of these boys. You got to go down to Ogletree to see the first truck that took 4 tires on that pit stop. Ogletree back in 17th now. He was running great on that outside lane during that run, but I imagine there was a little brown pant moments, and the Kittens and Beer Racing number 27 of Jared Ogletree deciding, you know what, I'm going to get full fuel. Let's get 4 have a good ones and just reset. There's some stuff up there. But unfortunately, that stuff can be right in front of your bumper.
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking about those guys there as well. Is look at that lap counter there, Mean Gene. Look what we're coming to.
Oh, my. That's lap 51. That's 25.
We're in that window there, Mean Gene. We can make it here. So anybody that pitted under this last caution, they're going to be safe on fuel. Now, the guys that stayed out there, Jax Duvall, Justin White, Zach Engel, Kyle Lynott, and Wayne Newman, the situation for them is going to be how many cautions do we get from here on out? Is it enough? They didn't pit for the track position, and they're going to bank on more cautions. So they're going to try and save this fuel that they need to make it to the end under this caution and hope for some more cautions in these last 24 laps. If they don't get cautions, then the strategy obviously is going to fail. So big risk here. High risk, high reward decisions being made by those top 5.
We're going to find out what happens. Meanwhile, you got 2 trucks that are a lap down, Darby and Stephen Neal. Those 2 guys would be battling for lucky dog considerations. 2 laps down, Edward Peltz still in the pit, waiting to see if he's going to come out. And then other trucks behind them basically in a used car lot of damage. Up front, though, as you said, those 5 drivers are willing to roll the dice here at Daytona to see if they're going to be the lucky ones that can make it through here. At the Plus EV Paint, all in 187 at Daytona, live on the Vortex Racing Network. This is Big Trucking Tuesday in our 9th race of our 13-race regular season. Season ticking away until it all comes to fruition at Chicagoland, where we will crown a Season 12 champion. Today, though, it is the Duvall story. On the outside, had a couple of incidents, finds himself in the lead, chooses the outside lane, pace car out of the way into the restart zone. Away we go. Duvall getting a great push from Kyle Lynott. Those 2 trucks are going to clear the inside row of Zach Engel and Justin White. Look at this jump, and they continue. What's happening out there? They got a new aero package?
Yeah, so I think this was a bit of teamwork of those guys in the chat together. Jax Duvall, Kyle Lynott push hard and get clear of Justin White to get in front of him to get this 1-2-3 going on the inside and take control of the race.
Wow, they've also got White and Engel now behind them. Outside lane is David Buell getting the push from Brenner. And look how quickly that outside lane is coming now. They are on a rocket ship going straight up. 3rd car out there looks like Wayne Newman as well, part of that. Dylan Walterman now making his way in. That's that number 4 Chevrolet. Walterman now putting his name into this hat, pushing hard on the outside. That's that 4th truck on the outside. Newman on the inside of him, Sam Ballard, Alex McQuarter still in this battle. Lots of names have yet to vanish. These fellas battling. And as I look back into the mid, there's some old familiar faces as well. How about Ogletree, Jared Kelly, Brandon Shelton, and Mailhot still in the mix as well. And Joe Volpus, it's taped together, but it's still running Joe Volpus in 18th.
Yeah, so a lot of guys here just trying to figure out what they're going to do with their track position. However, look at that outside line. David Brenner with a great push on David Buell. The Davids working together and getting their way into 1-2 here.
Yeah, battling as hard as they can. Who's the real David? Doesn't matter. Let's share a podium. Outside lane making it work. We saw them close 5 truck lengths to get back up into the position, but now it's Duval and Lynott battling back, getting that help from now. Look at Jeff Pfeiffer making his way into this mix now. That's that 85 truck finally deciding to make that hard run. Started in the back, and now he's about to clear the inside lane. Brenner cuts down to take over the inside lane. Outside lane now going to be David Buell, Jeff Pfeiffer, and Dylan Walterman. Inside lane, it's those boys in Discord. The 22 of Brenner. He's got
no.
Duval, Lynott. No, don't play games. Oh, he's driving backwards. Oh, and now he's spinning. Lord of mercy.
That's not good. That's not good at all.
No, he did a little backwards. He drove pretty straight backwards, though, for a while. That was really good. So now the thing this is going to do immediately off the top of my head, Joe, the 5 guys that didn't pit, this is going to tick off some laps for them. They got to be happy about that.
Yeah, that's going to be the positive news. The bad news is now they got some more contenders up front. You know, David Brenner, who pitted, and David Buell, who pitted as well. They've already shuffled their way to 1-2 in this running order.
All right, so to me, it looks like the lucky dog might be Darby. Let's look at this replay here. The 37 starting to fade backwards. You can see, oh no, that looked like Darby made contact there. So he would lose out.
Yeah, that looked like the 33 of Graham McGivern that ended up getting the turn there. So if you look forward, if you look further forward, it looks like there was like something that happened further up. Somebody gets loose up there, and they all kind of start scattering towards the back, and it just creates this whole bottleneck that gets a 37 turn. Yep.
And I look like, it looked like Darby, though, did make contact. That was one of the lucky dog candidates. Makes me wonder if Stephen Neal is going to end up being the candidate. We'll just have to keep an eye on which of those lap drivers were not involved and going to have the opportunity to move up in position. Meanwhile, it looks like Tommy Fox, the only guy that's going to dip on down, take a little bit of fuel. Tommy Fox is in that 57 and is a quick, well, I say quick, but he took his time coming out of the pit. That was interesting. So Tommy Fox did come down for a little bit of fuel, a little 5-second pit stop, which mostly means splash and go. Up front, David Brenner and David Buell, both those fellas last pitted on lap number 50, so they should be able to make it to the end. Jax Duval in third, pitted on lap 44, so he's hoping for one more caution so he don't have to sweat it. Jeff Pfeiffer running in fourth, Kyle Lynott in fifth, Justin White sixth, Dylan Waterman. Nice seeing these names up here like this. Sam Ballard making a nice run today up into eighth. Here's the guy you were worried about, and he's here to console you, Joe. Zach Engel in that 47. He's currently being shown in ninth. And then Alex McQuarter, after last week's podium, still running 10th here today. So lots of activity still to go as we find ourselves battling here on lap number 57. 19 to go. Cannot wait. This restart is going to be very, very interesting considering different tire situations. And the whole teamwork, Joe, creates such an opportunity for speed. That last time watching what Duval was able to do with Lynott, it really looked like a brand new aero package they got out so quick.
Yeah, we're going to see what they do this time. We'll see if they're going to work with David Buell or not here up front. I'm going to assume Brenner's going to take the inside here because if I'm looking at this correctly, I see David Brenner in first, Jax Duvall in third, Lynott in fifth, Justin White in seventh. So those 4 guys are going to line up on the inside. Yep, you're seeing it here. Brenner going to go inside the front. So those 4 now are going to line up 1 through 4 on the inside line. And they're going to be able to hook up a lot better since they're all in a chat together than that outside line of Buell, Pfeiffer, Walterman, and Ballard.
Yeah, that is going to be a difficult situation to overcome. If I'm Buell, I might count down what I'm doing on the outside on the big on the big radio just to get even.
Yeah, we'll see what the plan is here for him. I think he's probably asking to be on the Gulf Coast Racing team at this point because yeah, it's not looking so good. For those guys.
Don't join the dark side.
I mean, it's looking really good for those guys to take control of this race here.
Well, that was exactly what Owens and crew thought on Monday before it all went apart by the second car on the outside row. Second truck on the outside row here tonight, Jeff Pfeiffer. Who knows? Let's see what kind of activity Pfeiffer is going to make with Buell and then really put the pressure on that third truck on the outside. And so, because you keep saying it, you're the one that said it. That third truck is the one that really determines just how fast you're going to go. So how close can Dylan Walterman get to Pfeiffer and not have it become an aero issue? And the other thing is you don't want to side draft once you get the momentum, but if you go up too high to avoid side drafting, that opens that middle lane. Exactly. The middle lane opens up, and then all of a sudden you're just shuffled out going backwards. So there's just so many catch-22s in this situation. If you go low, you're stuck. If you go high, you're 3 wide. Here we go. Look at that jump the inside lane gets. Already 2 truck lengths. Here comes Lynott to make it 3 truck lengths. Behind him, you can see Angle as well. Buell with no help on the outside, wondering where Pfeiffer and Walterman went. Here we go, finally getting to tighten it up. Zach Angle on the bottom. Buell with no choice. Still resists the temptation. He's waiting on that high side to come in. Good patience there by David Buell. Inside lane, though, look at those guys. Brenner, Duvall, Lynott, Justin White. Oh, and Nick Mills going the wrong way. There's Zach Williams in the 98. Kelly in the 55. Big names, big names.
Yeah, there's a lot of people involved in this one. Mean Gene, that's a big wreck. Look at that, Jared Kelly. You see him, he's getting going again. Mailhot, we talked about him earlier. Paul Ferdiani, your sponsor for the race, he's involved. Man, that's a lot of guys involved in this big wreck here coming down towards the end of the race.
Sacrifices to become a sponsor of a race this size. Looks like part of Ferdiani's package was mowing the lawn. He had to take care of it right there.
Yeah, let's go back and see what happened there, Mean Gene.
A little bit of wiggling by Brent. And Nick Mills just gets the business. And then another guy gets the business.
Yeah, that was the 996 of Wayne Newman on the inside there.
That's the business straight away.
Ooh.
And look at Williams slow down, and Kelly gets. Hey! That's another one for Jared Kelly. He spun 2 dudes today. All right. Got him.
Yeah, here you go. Here's a nice outside
Newman
view
spins. Kelly spins.
Oh. They're all in the grass.
Yep. You can't drive that way. Don't come up on the track.
Oh, AJ barely missed him. All right, Mean Gene, you gonna come down pit road here if you're up front? Or you think your cards are dealt at this point?
I don't want to sound like Johnny Replay, but I'm terrified. I'm going to steal his word here. No one is safe. We just talked about it before that accident. If you're on the inside lane, you got to feel good, especially if you got your teammates with you. If you're on the outside lane, you have to be very concerned about being abandoned by people, side drafting if you're too low. But on the other hand, if you go too high, it's going to become a 3-wide situation. So here we go. Thinking about all those different factors makes you wonder where you would be safe at. And the only answer is on the inside. You're on the inside. When do you make that move? I couldn't even begin to fathom. But you really want to be up in the top 10 at this point. You really want to be one of the top 5 or 6 cars on that inside lane. That outside lane just seems to be a crapshoot at the moment.
Yeah, I think it really matters on who's in what lane though here as well. So I think.
Oh yeah, because those Gulf Coast guys are going to get split up.
Yeah, they're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to have 2 on the inside, 2 on the outside. Let's see what that does to the outside line. Let's see if it makes it better, makes it worse. I don't know what else there could be. I mean, maybe these guys go take a trip to the lottery. I might as well at this point with the way this race has gone.
Well, it's been a madhouse. Lots of trucks still in the pit getting work done. You can see Owens is rolling. Benish is coming out. Zach Williams, Jared Kelly. Finally, you can see Stephen Neal is rolling. Looks like Ed Pelt's still down there getting hammered away on. Joe Quinn has called it a day. I think Peltz might have also. No, he's still being shown. He's being a good teammate. He's probably spotting for somebody. You got to appreciate that kind of support. Meanwhile, up front, you can see David Brenner continuing to lead. Lap 61, 15 laps to go here in the Plus EV Paint All In 187 at Daytona. Plus EV Paints is our sponsor. I want to thank Paul Ferliani, not only for the sweet paint job he gave me in the Premier Cup, but also for being the sponsor here today, and will also be our regular season finale at Talladega. Also going to be sponsored by Plus EV Paint, and this is the 187 All In at Daytona. 75 laps. Every move's a gamble. Every push a risk. In the draft at Daytona, you're only one misread away from losing it all. And boy, we've seen a few of those here today, Joe, as the boys continue to do battle. Fuel not an issue anymore.
No,
this is all about.
Yep, exactly.
All about danger. When do you take that risk? Up front now, you can see David Brenner on the inside, Duval on the outside. Duval has already proven that he'll be your buddy when you push him, but if he's in front of you, he'll ditch on you quicker than me ringing a doorbell when I was in middle school. Kyle Lynott, he's on the inside lane of row number 2. Justin White on the outside of him. Zach Engel and David Buell in that third row. Fourth row is going to be the 15 of McWhorter and the 85 of Jeff Pfeiffer. Dylan Walterman, Brandon Shelton, going to round off the top 10. This thing is far from over. Lots of fellas still thinking they can win. I mean, look in the back. Ogletree says, I led a lap. Vulpes is used to being in the front. If you're Graham McGivern and Troy Sand, this is about as good a chance as you're going to get to win all year. So you might as well bury this thing, put it all the way down to the floor, and then even punch a hole through the bottom of the truck and go Barney Rubble style. All right, pace cars out of the way. David Brenner in the lead. And we're into the Geico, and away we go. Brenner and Lynott with a great start. Going to leave Duval behind. Outside lane, Duval and Zach White trying to battle back. Zach Engel going to get underneath Duval, though. Force that outside lane to keep its integrity. Look at the third truck of David Buell finally making it work. Buell pushing White, pushing Duval on the outside. Then there's a gap. Look at that single file now. Brenner, and then 2 by 2 by 2 behind him. And now we're 5 deep, double wide. These boys are starting to rub and get close. Brenner in the inside lane. Look how close the front 3 trucks on the inside lane are, Joe.
Yeah, they're pushing really hard. Things are starting to get very crazy here up towards the front of the field. It's really starting to come down to the end of it. Business is picking up.
Yeah, they know nobody out here looking to make friends. You're just looking to take a win. Look how deep it is. All these fellas battling. 31 trucks still on the lead lap. This could be anybody's game as they make battle. Lap number 64 just got complete. Still looking at Brenner, Lynott, and Zach Engel on the inside. Looking at Duval, White and Buell on the outside. And then it's still 6 deep side by side, starting to accordion, starting to wiggle. This thing's looking like a centipede.
Yeah, look at how much everybody's starting to tighten up. I see Nick Mills. It looks like he might be trying to get something going on the outside there, Mean Gene. Let's see what he can do.
Now, if you mean get something going, like create a brown pant moment or give somebody a heart attack, that's your guy, the number 20, 3 wide. They come through the turn. They get back on the straightaway, making it work. Nick Mills now going to get side by side with Shelton. He's going to rub it so tight right there with Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer lets him go. Now he's 3 wide, going to try to go by Buell. Side drafting is the 20, riding the rail. Look at Brandon Shelton, says, hey, I love this outside. So does Morris Craven and David Owens. Joe Volpe stuck in the middle. Look at Pfeiffer now going up high. Middle lane has 3, 4. Joe, I can't even tell who's the middle and who's the outside. One thing's for sure, though. Inside lane, Brenner, Lynott, Zach Engel. That's been the constant since we've started this last green run. And there it is. Pfeiffer up in the air.
Oh, my goodness. He went for a ride there, Mean Gene.
God bless America. Look at that. Pfeiffer cannot be happy. This guy was having a good run. He started off patient. He waited in the back, making his run here at the end. 10 laps to go. Pfeiffer suddenly finds himself 3 wide. And then it's time to go flying, and there's no cape on that 85.
Now let's see what happened here. So we get 3 wide. Oh, that's some big net code. And some big
little
fence contact.
Little net code there from the 13, got him sideways, and then the number 2 said, I'm going to treat you like the number 2. No way to hit the brakes for Shelton. Nick Mills, look at this exciting ride, riding the rail out here side by side with David Buell, making that outside work. And then Pfeiffer just says, well, no, I'm not Eric Gambrell. I'm not going on my side. All right. You know, he just got a little ride. Hopefully that 85 didn't take too much damage. And he will be able to continue to do battle. Not going to be happy, though, as he finds himself back in 30th position, 31 trucks on the lead lap.
Yep. Let's see if anybody comes down pit road. It looks like pretty much the whole field's going to stay out, I think, this time again as well. I think,
a little bit of fakery.
Yeah, I think this would be a good time for us to, if they missed it at the start of the broadcast, give our special sponsor a little plug again.
There we go. Let's see what's happening over there.
What's this? Trophies. Look at these trophies. Oh, yeah. Oh, a surfboard. Yeah. Oh, check out that Daytona 24. Yeah. Oh, wine bottle. Big time. Cup of wine in the big time. Yeah.
And we are back. KK Woodscapes. You need a trophy made? You want to memorialize an epic moment in your life? That's your guy. Hey, fantasy football right around the corner. Go ahead and reach out to KK Woodscapes. He can make you something. Don't forget the winner and the last place guy get a trophy. Make that last place trophy something that's going to stay in the league for years. Oh, yeah. More than one person just said, oh, yeah. Not just Kevin Kyle, but also, how about the crew chief of Stephen Neal? He's given a big oh, yeah, because that 45 is going to find himself back on the lead lap. He's been battling to get back up there this whole time, avoiding the cautions. And now Stephen Neal, your lucky dog recipient here on lap number 67. Up front, David Brenner. He's got to be happy to be in the lead, Joe, but he's got to be sad that his favorite partner is now going to be next to him, Lynott on the side. Now, you might think Brenner could get a good start and Lynott could get down with him, but guess who's right behind Brenner? That's right, Florida man, Jax Duvall. And this guy, he don't give none, okay? You're not going to get in a free one on Jax Duvall, not this late in the race. Zach Engel, Justin White up front. David Buell, Alex McWhorter, Nick Mills. He made that 3-wide work for him. He's going to start in 8th. Dylan Walterman, that's that number 4 truck, still up there in 9th. And then Sam Ballard running in 10th. So top 10, very competitive. But look at the names right behind those guys. Joe Volpus, Brandon Shelton, Sam Milliken, Morris Craven. He led laps. And now David Owens finding himself up there as well. So I think that middle is going to make some aggressive moves. Would not be surprised to see 3 wide almost immediately here after this restart.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see another caution either there, Mean Gene, with some of these guys starting to work their way back to the front either as well.
Yeah, that's the good thing about this league is you don't want a wreck fest, but on the other hand, you got to be happy to see competitive racing, people just not getting out of the way. Especially at this stage of the race, you want to see fellas making battle, making do. And I can deal with netcode. And I can deal with racing incidents. There's been a little bit of chippiness on the radio, and that's to be expected in the heat of the moment. But this is what you want at this level of racing. You want to see hard charging. You want to see guys battling. And with 36, that's right, you heard me correctly, with 36 trucks out there on the race, you're running out of real estate, and it's got to be expected that you're going to see a little bit of contact. But that being said, 32 drivers still on the lead lap, making way, doing battle. Pace car lights are off. We are expecting to go green here. Kyle Lynott, David Brenner up in that front row, keeping an eye on Brenner in the 22. He is going to be that inside truck. Second row, Duvall, Engel, and then the ever-important third row, Justin White, David Buell. Into the Geico restart zone we go. Away we go. Inside lane with a great run. Brenner and Duvall. Duvall pulls side by side with Lynott. Zach White tight in that third spot on the inside lane. Now side by side with Lynott. Lynott falling back into 4th place. Outside lane cannot get it together. It's Zach Engel back there. David Buell trying to make it work. Here comes Nick Mills as well. Third car on the outside lane. Inside lane going to be 7 straight before you get to that outside lane. Now the 4 of Walterman and the 15 of McWhorter go high. Look at Lynott go high as well as Justin White. Inside lane alone now, just like that. It's Brenner and Duvall. Outside lane, look at Lynott. He's got, and then Buell and Mills sideways.
Oh, I think we got another big one there, Mean Gene. Oh,
and
no.
Darby makes contact. Nowhere to go. Tommy Fox. That's the 44 of Paul Ferdiani. The 61 of Matt Schofield. Oh, 57, Tommy Fox. Golly gee, these fellas being ever so patient, trying to wait for the moment to make their move, and then the move is made on them, and you can't park there, boys.
Oh, man, that's a really tough break for a lot of those guys. Things are about to start heating up here, especially down the stretch. Only 6 laps left. Let's see if we can get this spooled up here for you, Mean Gene, and see what happens.
All right. Keep an eye on Nick Mills and David Buell. I think this is where the activity began. You can see Mills starting to look down low. He says, "Is that your left rear bumper?" Oh, Buell fought back though. Did you see him give him a right hook? Oh, and then here comes Darby, nowhere to go. And then Darby, he gets on the brakes before he takes out Owens. Look at that. Is that your left rear? And then look at this punch. Good punch. That's a counter punch there by David Buell.
Goodness, look at them all compiling in afterward, too. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no. That is some unfortunate activity.
Yeah, you just look at this
Well,
here. It looks like Nick just gets him maybe wrong in the middle of the corner, pushes him
yeah,
up, and
he's
then takes
just
it
came in
middle,
hot.
and that's the result.
Wow, how about the 74 Morris Craven on the bottom? He's got to be happy he made it through there. Look at Nick, and then Nick Mills drives away. Did I do that?
It looks like Jared Kelly was able to get through there scot-free as well.
Yeah, watch the 74 underneath. He's like, oh, sorry, I got to go. Owens ducks down. Oh, little contact. Oh,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, lots of wacky. And I don't mean tobacco. I'm talking about contact here on lap number 70, caution. Ooh, I think 5 laps to go. We should be able to get this thing going with 3 to go. I don't think we're in a green-white checker situation, are we?
No, I think we're going to come take 1 to green here with 4 to go, so we'll go green. It'll be a green-white checkered situation here to get done in scheduled distance unless something crazy happens again.
Well, we don't need something crazy to happen. We just need some good racing. As we predicted earlier, 3 wide is on the menu when you get in there. We'll just have to see exactly who is the perpetrator, who's the violator, and who is the violatee once we get back under green. Up front, still the same situation. You can see David Brenner, Jax Duval. Brenner on the inside. I believe that's been his lane of choice. Behind him, Justin White. Joe Vulpes now making his way up into the top 4. You can see Kyle Lynott, Sam Ballard, Alex McQuarter, Dylan Walterman holding on for 8th, Sam Milliken 9, Zach Engel, he faded a little bit, finds himself in 10th. And then look behind him, there's Brandon Shelton, the Law, in 11th. Nicholas Rendo making his way up into 12th. David Owens. Nick Mills still in 14th. So Owens and Mills, they love going 3 wide, and now they're side by side. We'll see who goes into the middle first. You zigged when you should have zagged. We'll see which one goes in the hole first. Behind them, McGivern, Jake Johnson, Wayne Newman, Adam Mailhot, Zach Williams, Tim Darby still in the top 20. Jared Kelly, Jeff Pfeiffer, those are the cars we're wondering about the damage that they might have suffered. Jared Kelly in the pits for 1:17 back on lap 66. So lots of guys with damage. Wayne Newman in the pit for 1:31 seconds. But that was back on lap 44. Who do you think was pitted most recently? It's all the guys in the back from 24th down to 30th. 30 trucks still being shown on the lead lap, and Sand and Buell still in the pit. Really unfortunate for David Buell. That guy had a great run going. Now he finds himself in the pit getting sawzalled and duct taped back together.
Yeah, so I want to point out the positive side of that last restart. So if you look on the outside line behind Jax Duval, Joseph Vulpes, and Sam Ballard, when that Gulf Coast group decided to take the high line and vacated the bottom, Vulpes and Ballard there, they were able to push really hard, and they went from 11th and 13th on that last restart to 4th and 6th. So now they've went from being in a position where maybe they're fighting for a top 10 to now they're in a position to fight for the win.
Yeah, you got to love when the cards go out in that manner for you. And right now, those 2 guys, beneficiary of track strategy. Inside lane so popular. Outside lane is a crapshoot, and this time it came up 7 for those 2 cars. Lights are off the pace car. Going to see when it gets out of the way. David Brenner in the 22 on the inside will be our control. Duval front row with him. Going to watch to see what White and Vulpes and Lynott and Ballard can do for the push. Here's Brenner into the Geico restart zone. Away we go. Hesitated and then pulls away. Outside lane struggling a little bit. Back to Mills and Jake Johnson, not getting the run that they wanted at the beginning. That's going to open it up for the inside lane. Top 3 trucks are clear. McQuarter is side by side with Duval in the 4th row. You can see Vulpes trying to make the outside work. Milliken looking Behind him in the number 17, Sam Ballard all alone. Shelton Owens back there as well. Up front, it's David Brenner all by himself getting the push from Williams. Here comes McQuarter. Outside lane, though. Look at this. Right now, making a run as he's getting the push. Ducks down. It's Lynott now. Lynott on the outside getting the push from Duvall. These guys in Discord together, as well as Brenner on the inside. Oh, you got below the apron, but we keep it rolling. Lap number 74. All they got to do is make it around one more time, and then this thing will be white flag ready for a finish. David Owens going to make it 3 wide behind Shelton. Back there, he's taking chances because that's how he rolls. Look at him 3 wide. No, the 48 comes back up. Shelton in the back has to back off. Owens as well. Shows a little bit of discretion to avoid the accident with the 48 of Ballard. Meanwhile, up front, outside row, making a run. It's Kyle Lynott now getting the push from Duvall inside lane, trying to make it work as well. White pushing Brenner. This is a great race as we see them here on lap 74.
Here we come. We're going to come take the white flag side by side at the line. One more lap to go here tonight in the Plus EV paint, all in 187.
There we go. Look at that. 4 deep, 2 wide, all the way back. Then Walterman. Here comes Zach Engel, Nick Mills. Behind them, the 17 spins. That's Ballard spinning Williams. They're going to keep rolling, though.
No.
It's Owens now, the 48. McQuarter upside down. Look up front. It's now Lynott with his buddy Duvall. Behind them, the 22 of Brenner. Brenner spins Duvall. He's going to go up. Brenner keeps rolling. Kyle Lynott, he's got one hand on the wheel. And, oh, my gosh, he's got to be so happy. The 988 leading him on the back stretch. He's got a big old gap. Meanwhile, David Brenner keeps it rolling, but they're chasing him down. Kyle Lynott is going to win. David Brenner holds on for second. Looks like Joe Vulpes scores the third. Zach Engel and Jared Ogletree with a top 5 here today.
Oh my goodness, what a final lap we just saw there, Mean Gene. Oh my, I don't know if I've seen one that crazy at a super speedway in a long time.
Well, it got wild. We'd seen it all building up, leading to those last moments, and that is exactly what you saw as the banging and the clanging turned into the spinning and the winning. And the winner here today, Kyle Lynott, 988, got to be thrilled for Gulf Coast. Look at Vulpes comes down to give him the little tap, says, way to go, teammate. Good job. Here comes some other guys to congratulate the 988, the winner here today of the Plus EV Paint All in 187 at Daytona. Watching Lynott now, bringing it into turn number 1. I think I smell a celebration. What do you think?
Yeah, let's. There's a lot to go back and unpack from that last lap, Mean Gene. So let's go unpack everything that happened on the last lap.
All right. Somebody look at the angle, gets tapped by Walterman. Then Walterman flips McQuarter.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, he's going to be in the infield care center for a while.
Let's go on board with him and get a sense of what he felt there. Oh, my. Hang on to your pants there, Mean Gene. Oh, my goodness. Look at him go flying through the air there, flipping multiple times. Tough break for Alex McQuarter there here tonight. So this looks like where the wreck started. The 47 and the 48 make contact, and it just accordions up the field, and it ends in the 15 flying and flipping all over the place. As you see, the 47 able to get through there clean right behind the 13. And you can see...
He made it.
Yeah, here you go, Mean Gene. 13 barely able to survive through this one here. Look at this. Oh, and drifting, going forward.
I heard the music come on, too. And then, yep, you can see Angle fall in right behind him. But this is the action we saw all night, was people going 3 wide. They went 3 wide. There was a hiccup. Looks like there was a wreck behind them, too, that was unrelated. That's funny.
Yeah, we'll be pulling that up here in a second as well, Mean Gene, to take a look and see what happened behind him. As you can see, there's the Yep, here you go. I know you wanted to see what happened behind. Here you go. Started with the 17 and the 2.
Yep, and then the 05 says, hey, you
Get
mind?
ready. Get ready. Here it comes.
Oh, the 37 finishes him off. He says, I'll speed in Georgia if I want. You can't stop me.
Here you go. A first-person view of this well-done T-bone steak for you. Oh!
Oy. That's going to leave a mark. No, it won't go. And this is also amazing here at the end. Brenner goes down low. Duvall tries to close the door. Brenner said, no, I got a foot in. Duvall says, you know what? I should hold my brakes, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna roll down the track and see what happens. A little bit of light contact there.
Here you go. The whole last lap for Nick Mills. So all this chaos happens in front of him. He sees the 15 flipping and flying everywhere, misses that. Then he sees these guys wrecking in front of him, misses all of that. And now
more wrecking.
And now he's rolling. There you go. You see the 84 fly up into the outside wall in front of him. And here in a second. Up.
AJ, I done with him. Yes, sir. Oh, my word.
So close, but yet so far.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, that's amazing.
What was that? Oh my goodness. Look at the 15 truck just flipping everywhere. What was that? 3-4 wrecks on the last lap?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah. And we just saw it again, too. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. That was some excitement. So let's go ahead and pull up the final standings. These, of course, are unofficial results pending Bonfire Race League official investigation of all of the final activities there. Yeah, so your winner is unofficially Kyle Lynott. David Brenner going to finish in second. Joe Volpus going to finish in third. So looks like that Gulf Coast dominance continuing. Top 4 last week, going to take the top 3 this week. Jared Ogletree went from a lap down, hating life, to 4th place. Great run. Zach Engel going to finish in 5th in that number 47. Sam Milliken, he's going to pilot that number 17 Chevrolet to a strong 6th place finish. David Owens was your points leader coming in. Should still be in good shape with a top 10 there. Going to finish in 7th. Adam Mailhot as well. One of our lap drivers comes back. Going to finish in 8th. Great run there by Mailhot in the Chevrolet. Behind him, AJ Benish with the amazing finishing move that we just saw. They're going to take 9th place. Jake Johnson back in the orange, and that puts him back into the top 10. Zach Williams, Justin White, Matt Schofield, Morris Craven, and Sam Ballard going to round out our top 15.
Some more of those guys that got caught up. You see your race sponsor, Paul Ferdiani, finishing in 16th for Plus EV Racing. Dylan Walterman, we saw how great of a run he was having, got caught up in that last lap chaos, gets 17th. Jeff Pfeiffer, we saw him get thrown around a lot today. He gets 18th when it's all said and done. As we look further back in the field, 19th place goes to Tim Darby. He was able to bring it on home through that wreck. Jax Duval, we saw him with a chance to win going down into turn number 3. Ended up backwards, gets 20th, unfortunately for him. Graham McGivern, we saw him caught up in a lot of wrecks again. Unfortunate bad luck for him today. He finishes 21st. Nicholas Rendo, we didn't really talk too much about him today, but got caught up in that big wreck on the last lap as well. Finishes 22nd. Alex McCorder, we saw him flipping and flying all over the place. He ends up 23rd. Brandon Sheldon, we saw him get T-boned at 170 miles an hour. He finishes in 24th. Jared Kelly, we saw him caught up in that wreck there on the last lap. He finishes 25th. Tommy Fox crossed the start-finish line in 10th, but an unfortunate post-race penalty of too many incident points will push him down to 26th. Nick Mills, we saw what happened to him. Looked like he was going to get a top 7 or 8 out of it, ends up 27th. Chris Smith, he was not able to get that rolling after the T-bone hit. He finishes in 28th. 29th will go to Stephen Neal. 30th to Wayne Newman. We saw those two boys up front a lot today, along with Troy Sand and David Buell as well. We get 31st and 32nd. Edward Peltz, unfortunate early end to his race. He finishes 33rd. Joe Quinn, Eric Gambrell in that huge wreck we looked at. It feels like an eternity ago now. They finished 34th and 35th. And Chris Ellis caught up in some early nonsense as well. He unfortunately will finish last here today.
Yeah, and we're going to investigate. I'm curious, Chris Ellis, he had that early pit, and I wonder if he had some kind of drive-through or something, because he was immediately just far off the pace, and it's so hard to catch back up, especially here at Daytona. If you're out there running by yourself, you're basically losing 5 seconds a lap easily. The other guy that stood out for me was David Buell. I really hate that for Dave. You know, that guy was running up front. He led laps. He played the strategy game. It paid off. He finally got on the same strategy as everybody else up front, but then just get caught up in a little bit of incident, and that ends up pushing him back into that 32nd place. So here we go. This is our updated points. David Owens still going to be your point leader, got a 15-point lead over Joe Volpes. So that gap closes just a little bit, but still maintaining his advantage. AJ Benish going to move up a spot, jumps over David Buell after the rough effort of Buell today. Nick Mills going to hold on to fifth. Justin White, your pole setter, going to jump up a spot along with Zach Williams. Both of those guys 6th and 7th now, jump ahead of Stephen Neal. Neal, rough day here today, going to finish 29th. That 29th place finish of Neal drops him 2 spots. Zach Engel holds on in 9th. Schofield jumps up 1, and here's some fast movers. These are the fellas we were talking about. They didn't have as many starts as the other people, but here they are now, still 2 and 3 starts behind. But look at Brenner and Lynott, Joe. Those fellas, big movers.
Yeah, Kyle Lynott, the biggest mover of the week, up 8 spots, and now into that final playoff spot as well. You look further on back, 5 points behind him, though. Graham McGivern, with a rough effort here tonight, he's going to look to get it back on track next week at Darlington. Troy Sand, a big loser this week. He lost 4 spots, falls to 14th. Jake Johnson, with his top 10 effort, moves up to 15th. Tommy Fox, his tough break, he falls. Man, could you imagine if he finished in 10th instead of 26th there? So that would have been, man, that's 16 points right there, plus the incident point penalty is, I believe, another 5-point penalty potentially. So
yeah.
I mean,
he's up there with Schofield.
Yeah, he's right there with Schofield in the top 10. Instead, he's back in 16th, and he's also a decent chunk, 12 points out of the playoff picture. Speaking of guys that are out of the playoff picture due to bad luck on the last lap, Alex McCorder, who went flipping and flying, he was on track to finishing inside the top 10. Instead, he finishes 23rd. So, shoulda, woulda, coulda situation for him there as well. Edward Peltz, we saw him have a tough break. He fell 5 spots this week. Sam Milliken moves into the top 20 and is tied with Chris Smith as those guys stay 19 points back. And the only other guys within a race of the right now of that battle is actually just Jax Duvall, since Jaron Valley is no longer available full time. So Duvall's 22 points back right now, that cut. So those right now, those top 21 are still battling to get inside the top 12.
Folks, you got to eyeball especially. Duvall finished 20th today, but in his 6 starts, he's got 2 top 5s. He's got 3 top 10s. So expect to see Duvall continue to charge. The bad luck of today is not indicative of what's going to happen to him tomorrow. Also, guys, with top 5, you got McCorder, remember, finished in the podium last week, 3 top 10s to his name, also 2 less starts than the rest of the guys that he's charging. So I think McCorder, Duvall, you got to keep an eye on them. Sam Milliken as well. Sam has got 2 top 10s, 3 top 10s for Chris Smith. So still a lot of battling to go on with those drivers that you just talked about, that top 21. None of these fellas I'm ready to give up on yet. They're only a couple of strong races away, and we've seen them do it either in this league or in other leagues. So the capability is there. And, Joe, this is a game of momentum, confidence, and streaks. And that's what we're looking for. As soon as you get a couple of good finishes, that could push you right over the top. I mean, look what just happened with a guy like Ogletree here with fourth. I want to see what that guy does next week. He's going to have that momentum on his side. An AJ Binish, this guy's won 3 races. Today, he finishes 9th. Let's see how he turns that around, continues. Jake Johnson going to pull himself out a top 10. He's right in the middle of that battle as well. So none of these guys off the board, in my opinion, as of yet. We'll just have to continue to monitor that as we move forward and watch this battle as it unfolds. And then we're going to play a lovely game. The guys that don't make the playoffs, Joe, I like to keep track of their points throughout the playoffs just to see how many points they can accumulate.
Yeah, that'll be a nice little game to play. Speaking of where we're going to be heading, though, here in the future, next week we're going to Darlington, the Lady in Black. So if you thought this week was a challenge, man, next week is going to be a whole different beast.
Yep, going to join us next week at the Good Food Fast Waffle House 170 live at Darlington. That's right. The next race will be the Good Food Fast Waffle House 170. Can't wait to see the activity there. 130 laps of absolute glory and tingling sensation will be experienced by everybody who starts that race. That is going to wrap us up here today. Want to thank our sponsors once again. Cannot give enough credit to the Plus EV Paint team. This is the Plus EV Paint All-In 187 at Daytona. Paul Ferdiani and team sponsoring today's effort. Lots of opportunities. They might not all need new paint, but they all need body work after what we just witnessed here at Daytona. In addition, of course, congratulations to Justin White. He was the winner of the poll, thus making him the LeagueNewsWeekly.com Poll Award winner. League News Weekly. All of the updates of what happened in the week across all our leagues that you can see there. And of course, KK Woodscapes, Kevin Kyle giving us the opportunity to memorialize and have reminders, mementos of our best moments here. And hey, if it's a fantasy football league you need trophies for, he might also remind you of your absolute worst moment as well. You could be at Waffle House as your punishment. Speaking of what's going to happen, Joe, I think we got a little schedule that we could pop up for people to see what's upcoming here. Of course, last night we had the Monday Night Mayhem series. We saw Matt Novella victorious at Echo Park. Tonight, to Big Truckin' Tuesday, we just watched the victory of Kyle Lynott as he dominated here with his teammates and took the dub. Tomorrow night is going to be an exhibition race. They're going to be on a super speedway. Of course, league admin, Zach Panzarella, is, and our co-host, right?
Yeah.
It's one of our co-anchors here. He's on vacation. He's in Italy. So, Assamore. Oh, yeah. Assamore, huh? Just leaving us behind. He's already sending me pictures of Ferraris driving around the Dollar Tree out there. That's ridiculous. And, of course, Thursday, the MRL Thursday Thriller Truck Series will be rebroadcast following the race. Apologies for the late start tonight. We had a little bit of an SDK issue, has been addressed, and so we will be back at our 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern broadcast time. Joe, any final thoughts before we head out of here tonight?
Man, what a crazy race we saw here tonight. I mean, have you ever seen anything like that before, Meet and Gene, where we saw 4 different wrecks? 4 different wrecks. I don't know if I've seen it personally before. I've seen it where it's wiped out the whole field, but not 4 different times do we end up wrecking on the last lap. Man, what a crazy finish. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week when we go to Darlington.
My favorite wreck had on that last lap had to be, it was just a 2-car incident, but one guy got under the other one and you could hear the screaming, why do you keep taking it 3 wide? And he said, please don't spin me. He said, oh, I'm going to spin you. He said, don't do it. He said, I'm gonna. And then he sent him right up the track. So that was absolutely glorious to see there at the end. Can't wait to see what's going to happen next week at Darlington. Ladies and gentlemen, been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. Going to wrap it up here from Daytona. This has been the Plus EV Paint All-In 187 at Daytona Bonfire Race League Big Truckin' Tuesday. Want to thank all of our sponsors, EV Plus EV Paint, LeagueNewsWeekly.com, KK Woodwork, and just always a pleasure to bring you this action. I want to thank our league admins as well, David Buell, Matt Schofield, Chris Smorrell, Kevin Kyle, David Medina Sr., AJ Benish. The list goes on of the people that Stephen Neal, the people that just donate so much time to make this league possible. Always a pleasure to work for these fellas and with these guys. Cannot wait to bring you some more action next week. Join us tomorrow. Join us Thursday for Big Truckin' Thursday. We'll see you next time. As always, bottoms up and hammer down.